Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer, so now let's talk silver. You guys mean a lot more to me than I think you realize or understand. I don't even think you can comprehend the gratitude, the appreciation I have for each and every one of you. My mom got diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer about a year and a half ago. And as some of you know, my father passed away about 3 months ago, something like that. And you guys have literally gotten me and my family through that. You guys paid off my mom's GoFundMe so she could take off work after her multiple surgeries. You guys were the ones that I was venting to during the passing of my father. It was you guys. Some of the hardest times of my life, you guys have gotten me through these things. And no amount of words can really show that appreciation. No amount of silver or gold that I give out can show that type of appreciation, but I'm willing to try. So over the next 6 or so months, as we approach 100,000 subscribers, which is a completely different type of appreciation I have for you all, since you allow me to be a stay-at-home father with my 2-year-old daughter, watching these videos, sharing them, commenting, liking, allows me to do that. I'm going to be giving away a disgustingly large amount of silver. I'm talking about tubes of eagles. Full 1-ounce gold coins will be given away. I know it's probably hard to believe, but I'm serious. I don't care. I don't care about my stack. Yes, we're all stacking. Yes, I don't care. You guys are more important than any amount of silver I have in my stack. And it's because you guys have touched my heart, my family. My mother, I watched my mother's thank you video to you guys after you guys paid off her GoFundMe, and I would always show her all the hundreds, if not thousands, of comments of you guys praying for her and wishing her better, and showing my dad in his dying hospital bed the amount of support he had. Like that stuff, no amount of silver can thank. For now, that's what I can do and offer you guys videos. So over the next 6 or so months, I'm going to be doing a lot of giveaways. I'll be announcing the first one very soon. I don't know what it's going to be, but I know these giveaways are going to be the biggest I've ever done. By far. No loose coins, not just 5 or 6 ounces. I'm talking about a sealed tube of eagles. I'm talking about full gold, 1-ounce gold coins. You know, these aren't little giveaways. This is serious stuff, and that's because you guys mean a lot to me. A lot more than you think. So, with that said, let's dive into this. An epic buying opportunity is now underway for silver. The link to this article will be in the description. If you like this video, then please like the video, subscribe, because I post daily videos. There's no shortage of silver articles on our blog, but there is a shortage of silver. Here's another one. Better to take this one seriously. The market seems to be following our expected path as explained in our bullish silver forecast in 2023. And I went over that. People are extremely bullish for silver, and actually my latest video, I asked Andy Sheckman, does he think that 2023 is the breakout year for silver? And he said yes. You know, a lot of people are bullish. It looks like the stars are finally aligning, and if silver was to break out, this would be the year. Everything does add up. Maybe 2024, you know, we got the elections that year. Regardless, though, if you aren't buying silver right now, you're probably going to miss the boat or get in before the curve happens. That's exactly what this article is talking about. This is the buying opportunity. Might be our last chance to buy silver in the 20s, you know, 20-something dollars. Might be your last chance. So the year just got started, but the market conditions and intermarket trends are pointing in the direction that we expected. Remember, we wrote the strong buy once this happens in silver, which was the pullback to 2020 or 21 US dollars. It took the pullback, is now underway. Better be prepared for the dip before silver really takes off. So this is an overview, of silver articles that would combine, contain valuable insights, and create a holistic picture of the state of the silver market and the silver opportunity. So let's look at this. They have a couple different articles. I've covered all of these. This one's a very good article. Silver, a divergence of epic and historic proportions. If you guys don't watch my videos daily, I highly recommend it because I cover everything. Everything. I never miss a beat. Anything that has to do with silver, I cover. You'll never miss anything if you subscribe to this channel. This post is a follow-up on our call to consider buying the dip when silver is going to pull back. The area we mentioned was $21, and looks like this pullback has now started. Now let's look at silver prices actually real quick. So $23.45. Let's look at like the 3-month chart. That's a good one because the 3-month chart was pretty bullish actually. Yeah, look at this. Look at this 3-month chart. See, the 6-month chart's a little different, but you could see, let's look at the week. Does look like there may be some pulling back. You can see obviously Saturday and Sunday markets are closed, but Monday pulls up, and now it's looking like we're going back down, but it's still, I mean, if you pull back, I mean, look at this chart, folks. Does it look like it's slowing down anytime soon? No, because we're building stability. We're building stability at $21. We're stabilizing. If it went from $18, almost $17, straight up to $30, then yes, it would correct back down to 18 because there's no price stability. But see how it's building this price stability up at 20, up to 21 and comes back down a little bit, up to 22, comes back down a little bit. That means that when it does correct, it's going to stay up here instead of just correcting or crashing or collapsing all the way back down to where it started, or even lower than where it started. The two wicks on the daily chart in the past few days with a lower higher suggesting the pullback started yesterday. No surprise, the US dollar is showing signs of life again. After a violent decline in the month of December, we now start seeing a reversal in the US dollar. This will put pressure on precious metals. Our expectation is that this will be short-lived, max 2 months. Now, Andy Scheckman, when I asked his opinion of silver taking off in 2023, which actually was a segment in our weekly show that we do. Right now, it's called the Slayer and Andy Show. I don't have it, or the Slayer Show. I don't know, and if you guys have any clever names, let me know. Andy Scheckman and myself do a weekly show. I had several different topics I asked him, and one of them is, do you think 2023 is a breakout year? And the first thing he said, the first reason was that the dollar is extremely strong, and the last time we saw the dollar this strong compared to silver's price was when silver was $5. But silver is still up this high regardless of the dollar's strength, which shows silver. And then if you look at gold, it shows silver's positioning, and then he compares it to gold's positioning, right? The gold to silver ratio. Regardless, though, silver's starting to take on a life of its own. Regardless of what the dollar index does, silver's going to do what it does. Regardless of gold's value, gold's price, silver's going to do what it does. Regardless of stock market volatility, silver's going to do what it does because silver is used for completely different reasons than gold. Why would silver's price be so directly correlated to gold when they're used for two completely different things? And that's what we're starting to see now. Here's another article. Silver, a divergence of epic and historic proportions. Very bullish on silver. A lot of people are very bullish. We also are seeing this is going to be probably record-breaking demand in 2023. The numbers came in from the Silver Institute in 2022, 1.21 billion ounces. We're seeing a very large deficit from production to consumption, especially as China reopens this year. China's the biggest consumer of silver. And then you see the BRICS nations, all these countries that are joining forces, protesting against the U.S. dollar that dips their hand in everyone's pocket since U.S. dollar is the world's reserve currency. They're all buying boatloads of gold and silver. I mean, look at Iran, talking about double, or India. I mean, think of this. Russia, India, China, all of these countries that are in the BRICS nations are buying record levels of gold and silver. Why do you think that is? That's because they're creating a digital currency backed by physical commodities. But also, all of the BRICS nations have their hands in oil fields, which means if we go green, oil's not going to be as valuable. So what if they're also taking all the gold and the silver, because silver's what's making the world go green? And if we go green, if we successfully turn all these EVs into, all these electric vehicles and these solar panels, if we successfully do that, then that's gonna hurt their place in the oil category. So what if they were also taking all the silver from us so we can't go green? That also makes just as much sense. And that's what I was talking, because Andy talks about all this silver just poof vanishes off the shelf. Where's it going? Well, it's going to the BRICS nations, and they understand silver's value. And like Andy says, price misdirection's the greatest. It is the greatest play, because people look at silver's price and say, "Oh, it's $23. Why would I get into this? It's not doing anything." See, people don't see silver's true value because they're comparing its value to the price of the dollar. But the dollar's price is irrelevant because the dollar's worthless. When you look at silver's true uses, as its critical role and as it's extremely undervalued and as it's extremely scarce, the supply deficit, then you would see that silver should be priced a lot higher. But regardless, if it's $23 or $2,300, makes no difference, because silver still has an incredibly important role as we go green. So don't let the price fool you. Price misdirection is the greatest facade. And then looking at the COMEX, it's looking like everything is going to start crumbling or peeling back the layers of the onion sooner than later. Like Ted Butler says, sooner than later. You can misdirect the price. You can manipulate the price. You could do all that. But at the end of the day, the fundamentals will always weigh out however much money you throw in another direction. Here's the best proof of that. You can try to see, okay, so we go with the fundamentals: low supply, high demand pushes the price up. There's a very low supply of silver, a very high demand, growing demand, pushes the price up. But Silver Slayer, the price hasn't been pushing up. Yes, because they can still manipulate the price, spot price. But you know what price they can't manipulate? The premiums. And premiums is what you actually have to pay for the physical metal. We're going off fundamentals. So premiums expose the truth. Spot price doesn't. What relevancy does spot price have if what we have to pay for an ounce of silver has nothing to do with spot price? Then what relevancy does it have? It doesn't mean anything. It's just a number on a screen. What really matters is what you have to pay. And the premiums are rising. And that's because silver's scarce. Gold isn't scarce. That's why gold has no premiums. See what I'm saying? So physical investment, 2022 is on track to jump by 18% to 329 million ounces, which would also be a new record. By the way, the global silver market's forecast to a record second consecutive deficit at 194 million ounces. This will be a multi-decade high and 4 times the level seen in 2021. And then physical investment in 2022 is on track to jump by 18% to 329 million ounces, which would also be a new record. Support has come from investor fears of high inflation with the Russia and Ukraine war, recessionary concerns, mistrust in government, buying on price dips. This rise was boosted further by a near doubling of Indian demand, part of the BRICS nations, a recovery from a slump last year with investors often taking advantage of lower rupee prices. And then also incorporate that with China reopening. And then look at the supply imbalance. The market imbalance, the supply shortage is historic. It's not just a big supply shortage jump of 4 times again this year. Sooner or later, the price should adjust to its reality, like what Ted Butler says. Silver's true natural price will expose itself. Even though the physical silver market may not be the ultimate catalyst of silver price, catalyst is unfortunately silver futures markets, what I was just talking about, the COMEX, but it will get exposed. The facade will come crumbling down, peeling the layers of the onion back. And then the COT report remains very bullish. And then here's a chart of supply and demand. Look at this. Mine production. It's around 850 million ounces. Actually, a lot lower than that recently. 2020, 781 million ounces were mined. Look at recycling, though. And this is by millions of ounces. Recycling isn't putting a dent in anything. Recycling is not enough to fix this problem. And then look at industrial demand. 539 million ounces in industrial alone. And then look at where industrial will be in 5-10 years from now as we go green, completely green. Every automobile company by the year 2030 is going to be electric. How many? That's probably 1.5 billion ounces, or not a billion. Yeah, I'd say 200 million ounces alone in just one category, which would be solar panel production, which increased 15% to zero. So industrial demand alone could be over 2 billion ounces. Because right now we're sitting at 100 million ounces, 1.21 billion ounces in 2022, double that by the year 2025, 2026, and we're already at record high supply deficits. If we succeeded a demand of 1.21 billion ounces, right here it even shows it, 1,210 million, 100 million ounces, which is 1.21 billion ounces in the year 2022. 1.21 billion ounces. I can guarantee it's over 2 billion ounces by the year 2026-ish, and that's when I also, well, I guess I talk about triple-digit silver in the year 2025, 2026. 2026-ish, maybe a little sooner. Some people say a lot sooner, given the other variables, which is the financial part of things, right? I always go off just the industrial supply and demand, silver shortage, the fundamentals. But if you also incorporate the dollar, the dollar losing its purchasing power, you talk about all the other reasons why people invest in silver as a hedge against inflation, as a safe haven, then yes, it could be a lot sooner. But look at the market imbalance. Have we ever look at minus 194 million ounces? When have we seen that ever? Never. We're in a situation that, given all the other, it's not just given, one reason or two reasons. There's multiple, and it's all coming together. So I hope you're ready. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you enjoyed this video, feel it was educational, informational, at least entertaining, make sure to hit the like button. Remember, I'm doing a lot of giveaways over the next 6 or so months as we are on the track of 100,000 subscribers. I cannot thank you all enough. Make sure you subscribe. You don't want to miss these giveaways. Thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.